evening, everyone. Welcome to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series. We are here for episode 10 called The Rookie. We have some special guests. We have some good stuff planned for you guys tonight. But I'm Allie, and I'm joined tonight with the CEO of the American All-Star Series, as well as my co-host, Joe Rush. Joe, how are you doing tonight?
Allie, I'm great. Exhausted from the time change, but man, I love this time of the year because it means we're getting closer and closer to the start of our season.
Yeah, longer nights mean more racing and more night races, which is the best time of year. But remember, we are live right now on all of our social media accounts, our Facebook account, my personal, as well as Joseph's personal, our series page, our Off the Dirt page, as well as Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. And we also have a TikTok and an Instagram if you want to go follow those, like those, whatever you want to do. But yeah.
Also, check out our website, crateracing.com, for all the up-to-date standings, point standings, especially as we get here to start the season, kick it off. 2022 is right here. We'll have those updated. Weekly points will be updated by Wednesday this week. We know Hayden Cardwell is our points leader on the weekly side. But in the meantime, as we get ready to start the season, don't forget to get your Off the Dirt merch made by Jamie Wilson. Landstone Designs does a great job. Hats, shirts, he can embroider about anything you want. You might have a couple cool nights here early in the season. You want a blanket with Off the Dirt on it. Jamie can do that for us too. So, if you want some merch, let us know.
We got some cool merch. So get yours while you can. We're going to would we have these at the races and stuff?
We've got a few. We've got a limited supply of T-shirts at the races. So, Josh, you're probably right. I stayed up late the other night watching your sprint cars because that was the only racing on. So, you know how that goes. So, they got a fan in Oscar McCown there.
Thank you.
Says you're good. We'll see Oscar when we go to Isom, I'm sure, even if he's not crate racing, we'll see him there. So, all right. So, we've got our merch in. We've talked to a couple of our guests that are watching with us tonight. Keep those comments coming. But, Allie, you got to talk about one of our other prime partners that have been with us since early on in the podcast.
Yeah, so segment 1 is brought to you by Firefly Token. Firefly Token is a unique high burn token that rewards long-term holders with a team of dedicated developers and an engaged community. It's also a token you feel good about investing in. Each transfer or sale incurs 15% burn rate, 5% of which goes directly to charitable causes. For us at Firefly, the primary cause we support is the conservation of fireflies. The global population is approaching extinction, and with your support, we hope to reverse that trend. So we've seen Ricky Greene post every week on our podcast, #Save the Fireflies. So, Joe, how's the token doing?
Token's doing good. It's back up from where it was this time last week, so that's a good thing to see as we keep working our way back up there. We're getting closer and closer to that CMC listing. I believe our developer of the token said that he's got a plan to have us to 1,000 holders and on CMC by tomorrow. So get on board tonight because he's applying for CMC tomorrow, he says. So once we're there, it's just going to rocket ship up.
Mm-hmm. So invest now before it gets too expensive for you to invest, and then you'll make a lot more money in the future. But speaking of stuff that's in the process of coming out, Racetrack Connection is out for drivers right now. It's out for the Android store or Google Play or whatever it's called. I don't know. But it's out for Android right now, and you can download it for drivers only, and then fans is coming to you soon.
Yeah, that's right. It is out for the Android. I guess some people still aren't in the 22nd century or 21st century, sorry, and using their Apple devices. But for those of you that are still on Androids, don't fear because it is out now and available on the Android on the Google Play Store. Sherman's doing great work with the app. Going to be a lot of great features in it. So, really great news and exciting there. And there's an exciting piece about Firefly. It took 500 votes to get us listed on Coin Sniper, and Jeffrey Wolford, another AAS competitor, says it just hit that. So we'll be listed on Coin Sniper. So that should be good news. We might have good news about Firefly by the time we get to blooper section tonight.
Mm-hmm. That'd be awesome. But speaking of Racetrack Connection, if you are a driver and you're tuning in, make sure you search in the Apple Store as well as the Android Store. It's under Racetrack Connection Driver because there's going to be another app for fans, and then they're going to connect and they're going to interweave. So, but yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool app, and Firefly is on the up.
But so
Yeah,
Allie,
you go ahead.
there is one driver that's already completed a whole profile, got his full season set. I don't know if he's updated the dates we've added on the schedule, but there is one driver that's already got his full season set on Racetrack Connection.
Do I know this driver?
You do.
Is he here?
He is going to be here with us in just a few seconds once you introduce him.
All right. Well, for segment one, we always dedicate this segment for our special guests. But tonight we want to welcome in Ricky Greene, an American All-Star competitor, as well as competing for Rookie of the Year this year and our championship. So, Ricky, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good.
Good, Ricky. It's good to have you in here. Our rookie, one of our rookies, but we'll call you the rookie for tonight.
The Ricky Rookie.
Ish.
So we're just gonna pretty much bounce off and just ask you questions, and we want to welcome questions from all the viewers that are watching. If you have any questions for Ricky, we'll get to those. But first, we want to tell us a little about your racing career.
Yeah, so I started in a Young Guns class at Cherokee in 2008 in a little old piece of junk Nissan, and raced that for a few years. I won the Young Guns championship in 2010, and then decided to move up to stock 4, and then it didn't take me long to figure out that my car was not going to be. I ran a Nissan, and it was against Fords and Toyotas, so it didn't take long to figure out we were way underpowered. So I jumped into the crate sportsman stuff. We bought a 602 and started in the stock body stuff, and I ran that crate sportsman stuff until 2013. We built a limited sportsman, and then just ran that until the motors became so expensive that I just decided to stay with the crate stuff, and ran crate racing USA stuff. Started in 2017. I went to a race in Golden Isles. We wanted to go down there for their Super Bowl, and I thought, we'll go down there and see what these guys are about, because it's when the division was blowing up. And we went down there and we got our butts kicked, and I loved it. And I told my dad, I said, I want to build a car to go purposely built race with them. So we did, and we started traveling in 2018 to some of those big races, and been running some of that stuff and winning some of those races. So and then this year, my father-in-law, he's been talking about it, and he decided this year, he said, let's get a 602 late model. And so we got one. We practiced it, and we went to go race, and the 602 races kind of disappeared in our area. So we were racing with 604s, and we were doing pretty decent. So the big Charlotte race was coming up there with Joe, and he said, if I'm gonna buy open tires, I'm gonna buy a 604. So that's what he did, and we stuck it in there. And Joe's race at Charlotte was actually my first, I guess, 604 race that we actually tried to compete in. So,
well, you speak of Charlotte, and I got we always try to share and promote the drivers that are coming to run with us. And I'll be honest, when we, with what we do, it's hard to follow what other guys are doing. And that's no disrespect to you or any other series out there or other classes. And I was like, who the heck is this Ricky Greene guy that's coming to compete with us? Because at that point, I hadn't really heard of you. And not only did you come to Charlotte with the 70-some car field, but you had a pretty good run at Charlotte.
Yeah, the first night we didn't make it, but we really didn't. I think I missed it by a little bit. We were like half of the pack in qualifying, and then it rained out. What was it? B mains or last chance races. So they just kind of scrapped that and took the field. And then the second night I qualified better, and we were actually in I guess you call it a B main or a heat race, and I finished third to Corey Gordon and Carson Ferguson. So I was in pretty good company, and we ended up making the show. I started 20th around there, and we were moving forward, and then the rain came, which I'm glad they got us off the racetrack, because that would have been pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, they said, call it, Joe, and I called it, and we got everybody off just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
But, I hope that you say, when I ask you your most memorable win, I hope that you say it's one of ours, but I'm sure you've had some other big wins too. So what is your most memorable win?
Yeah, the with one, it's pretty cool. It's just, I don't know. The one I had at the 5,000 to win, I won at Cherokee in 2020. It's got to be my most memorable one, just because the first year we felt like we had such a good car, and I got the second. We got we got in a wreck and had to go to the back, and I drove my butt off to get back to like fourth. And by that time, it was late in the race and my stuff was used up. So I probably had one of the best cars that year, and it got taken away from me. And that next year, we had the best car, and I led every lap, and had a good win.
No, that's awesome.
So I know you kind of talked about what classes you've run, but how many career wins do you have, and across what classes?
Yeah, I got a little note on my phone that I try to update just so I don't, tell people the wrong number. I got 50 with that 602 late model win at Sonoya this year. I got 50. I got them in Young Guns, Crate Sportsman, Limited Sportsman, Renegade, Thunder Bomber, Street Stock, 602 late model, and a 604 late model. So I've covered just about pretty much all the stock body classes at Cherokee that you can win in. My goal was to kind of win in every division you could at Cherokee, but that probably won't ever happen.
We got a couple more to go, but you're working your way there for sure. Yeah. So, a lot of these tracks that you're coming to on the tour with the AAS this year, this is kind of out of your area, and I'm sure we've got some people watching that kind of wondered, when I first heard your name, who Ricky Greene is. So, bring comments on. We'll share them with Ricky, and he definitely would like to hear from you, wants to build some of that fan base. He's got that Power T on the shirt. So East Tennessee fans, that's a good sign after the win in the SEC tournament this weekend. But, which track on the schedule, and maybe there's two, maybe you can break this into two parts, are you looking most forward to visiting in 2022? Maybe there's one that you look forward to going back to that you've already visited. And then what's one that you're really looking at and said, man, I want to go try that place out.
Yeah. So, when we started traveling around, we've been to some pretty cool places, and all those Tennessee tracks are pretty awesome, and it's good to get away and see all those. But I think my favorite one that I'm ready to get back to is going to be With.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know, just some of these, I just can't wait to go to some of these places you see videos of, and pretty good races that you've never gotten to get to before.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled to watch you on some of these smaller tracks, especially because you come from big track land. So it'll be exciting to see you on some of the smaller tracks and getting those dialed in as well.
Yeah.
But we're certainly excited for you to run with us and see how it goes. Cause some of those tracks at East Tennessee, we put on some of the best races that me and Joe's ever seen. And so it's going to be certainly exciting, but, what is your favorite track that you've ever ran at or that you just love? And what's your least favorite?
My favorite's got to be Cherokee Speedway. It's my home track. I grew up racing there. I could probably get around there with my eyes closed. Other than my home track, my favorite track would probably have to be Why Not, where we go every year to the Street Stock Nationals. It gets so wide and so racy. You can race. A few years ago, I raced 3 wide with a couple guys, and we never touched. And we were right on top of each other, but there was plenty of room. But the racetrack gets so racy that it's just an awesome place. I got a least favorite, but I'd rather not say. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
I understand that but there's tracks that drivers don't like that other people love. So I know, and I totally understand you not wanting to throw anybody under the bus. I get that for sure. As we look forward to 2022, I pretty much announced that you're planning to run for Rookie of the Year with us. You announced it on TikTok and said that I said you were running for the championship a while back. What are your plans and hopes for this 2022 season with the AAS, and what are some other events that you'd like to hit outside of AAS races? Did we lose you, Ricky?
Can you hear us, Ricky?
Let's take him out and back in and see if he can hear us.
Yeah,
I think we've lost Ricky's sound. Let's see if we can get him back in. Can you hear us now, Ricky? No. Okay.
What to do?
What to do?
Maybe we could. Okay,
there he left. Okay. And rejoined. All right, so
talk a little bit about Ricky. He's a driver from the Carolinas, which we have quite a few of those, but never really did much crate racing. And like you said, he came all the way to Charlotte and ran his first crate race, and then came to With and won the oldest crate race in the country. Can you hear us now, Ricky?
I'm back.
Okay, great. Technical difficulty there. I was basically asking you, what are your plans and hopes for 2022? I pretty much announced, and you announced that I said you were going to run for the championship on TikTok a while back. I've told everybody you're planning to run for the series. What are your hopes, running with the series in 2022? And then what are some events that you want to hit outside of the series?
Yeah. So that's our goal. Just to follow it. I think it'll be pretty fun getting to see some of these other places that that you talk about when we go to some of these races. And I want to win as many as we can, but we just got to focus on getting our car a little bit better right now, especially when we go to some of those racetracks in Tennessee. Those guys are really tough. So we're gonna have to work on our car and be on our game a lot better than we were last year. We got to start qualifying better to get in that dash. Last year I missed it at Smoky Mountain by like that much, and that's the difference. And when you have to go to a heat race and you end up you qualify 10th and you're in a heat race and you lose a spot, you just end up back there. And if you can get in the dash, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, that definitely makes a difference, especially on the bigger tracks and things. And we've seen people race that from out of it, but that dash, being fast from the get go helps. There's no doubt. Looks like Ricky's having some technical issues. So
what does it mean to bring Smokey to Beckley?
I'm guessing his street stock may be named Smokey. I don't know. Nick, explain. Nick's a street stock racer, so I'm guessing it's something related to Ricky's street stock racing. Maybe not. Ricky can tell us.
I don't know what's going on. You would think I got one of the Obama phones, but I got an iPhone, so it's not the phone.
All right. So Nick Evans says you need to bring Smokey to Beckley.
I'd love to. I don't know what their rule package is. That's one thing I like going and seeing some of these other places with the street stock too. But it's definitely tough just with the late model, but it'd be even tougher doing two of them.
That'd be a lot of fun to watch, I'm sure. Especially, it'd be really hard on a touring race when you're really focused on trying to get points, for sure.
Yeah, and your races, they go so quick. You don't really have a lot of time, but I like it. It keeps you. There's no downtime, which is good and bad. If you got to work on your car, it's bad. If you're, if the show's moving along, you get out of there quick. That's what I like about it.
Some guys tell me that moving along quick's not a good thing.
It can be.
I would assume it could be a good and bad thing, especially like you said, if we had to do some work on the car. But with you being from the Carolinas and you having to travel to most of our races in East Tennessee, some in Kentucky, some in West Virginia, who helps you out get up and down the road?
Yeah, so the biggest one is my father-in-law, Randy Gilstrap. He owns everything, and without him, I couldn't do it. My dad, he owns all the street stock stuff, and he's my right-hand man. He's my light guy. He's the one. If you see me all over the racetrack, sometimes it's because one's pointing one way and one's pointing the other way, and so I just try to figure out where I need to go sometimes. But my wife, she lets me do it. She's right there with me. She's my tire girl. Sometimes she'll get in there and buff my tires for me and get all that stuff ready. And my two kids go with us all the time. And my buddy Johnny Rogers Motorsports, he helps us out a good bit. And my good buddy Donnie Moore, without him, he helped put this late model deal together last year and at Moore Fab. And I got to thank him for everything he's done for us. He's been really good to us. I drove his car at Sonoya last year and we won. So maybe this year we can tag up with him and get some more of those wins in his car. But Pro Fab headers, Andrew Garris, they've been really good to me the last few years, and looking forward to keeping that relationship going. Barry and Lance Wright, great guys, great people. They've really been helping on the car lately and getting it better and going and testing and trying to get it more comfortable for me and what I like. Bob Park Driveline, he's always got my transmissions and gears and everything. I have never, knock on wood, had a driveline failure, and he's solid. Donnie Cantrell, CRP, he took over the CV Products brand. Chicks Carbs and Docile Art, New Arrow, which is my company. little spoiler thing. And my new sponsor that came on board this year, my man Kenny Wilson, with Save the Firefly. So I don't know if I'm pointing at it right, but it's over there.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we look forward to working with all those people, and maybe on Joe's tour this year we can pick up a few more to help us get us up and down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's one thing we try to do. We try to bring exposure to you, which in turn helps your sponsors and hopefully helps you with marketing yourself with what we do with sharing our racers. And we try to share our tour members first and get them the most exposure as they commit to following the full season for our events. So, well, we're just a little over 2 weeks away from I-75. What are your thoughts, your expectations before we let you go tonight?
Yeah, so we got a big race at Livonia this weekend with the street stock that I'm trying to focus on, and that's what we've been focused on for the last few weeks. But we've been getting the late model ready, and we every time we go test it or want to go test it, it rains. So hopefully we can sneak one more test in there before we go. But if not, I've never really. Every time we've, just like Charlotte, we didn't really get to test 604. I got thrown out there and not like qualifying, so it'll work out. I got a group of people that help me, so hopefully we can get in there and maybe I can finish better than I want to finish 6th in points kind of, but I want to finish like 1st in Hedgecock's points, so I can maybe we can have a good start to the tour this year.
Absolutely, that would be a great start for sure, and that's an extra $1,000 there with the Hedgecock's Mini Points Fund and 4 extra tires, and those are gold right now. Or 2 extra tires. I can't remember if it's 4 or 2, but it's like gold right now. So, Ricky, we appreciate you coming on tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in just a few weeks.
Thank you, Joe, and go Vols.
Go Vols.
Go Vols. Well, that was Ricky Greene, one of our American All-Star competitors, but the American All-Star Series would not be possible without our title sponsor, PPM Racing Products, so here's a quick word from them.
When you start with the strongest American steel, apply the smartest techniques, let artesian quality craftsmen do the work. What you end up with is just a little better than anything else you can get.
Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series. We just met with one of our American All-Star Series competitors competing for the Rookie of the Year this year, as well as our championship, Ricky Greene. But we're now into segment 2. And this app that is out for drivers right now on the Apple Store as well as Android Store, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, Racetrack Connection is going to be a great app. Meant to have Ricky talk a little bit about that, but we were talking about so much, I forgot that part. Sorry, Sherman. But he does have a full profile set up already on there. You put your full schedule on there. Ricky's done a great job promoting himself on the app, and I'm sure that that's another place he can go and look for sponsors. There is an option for drivers to do that. There's an option for drivers to buy and sell stuff, put a whole resume in. So it's a really great app, and the driver app is out on the Google Play Store and the App Store on Apple.
And when you search for it, don't search Racetrack Connection because you won't find it. Search Racetrack Driver or Racetrack Connection Driver. It's on both Apple and Android stores. But, Joe, this weekend is Willard's opening weekly weekend.
Yeah, it's we're getting geared up. Racing's starting, and it's time. I've been more than ready and excited for Willard to kick off their weekly series this year. I expect many weekly competitors to be members up there this year. They got a late start last year, and we still had like 6 that joined, even with having a late start. So I expect this year that everybody will get on board and be members and chasing that minimum of $2,500 to win points fund.
Mm-hmm. The weekly deal is amazing. It is awesome for the series, and we're supporting the tracks that support us, but drivers going to their home tracks or their weekly supported tracks and just supporting those tracks that support them as well as the series.
Yeah, that's right. These tracks jump on board with us. It makes sense because it helps their drivers. It gives them a points fund to run for. It's free for the tracks. They do have to do a little bit for the series as far as collecting an entry fee, but it's $10. And I don't think $10 is going to keep any driver from coming to the track, especially when it's all getting added right back into the points fund. This year it increased, 2021, it increased from 2,000 to win to 4,000 to win with just off those entry fees. So a really great deal, a great program, I think, for the racers, and a lot of great tracks involved, and it's a lot of fun. I get tied up kind of watching the points battle in the weekly series, Allie, because it changes so much, especially once guys get to 12 races and start dropping their worst finishes.
Mm. It's certainly going to be interesting also to see how many drivers that are, from Willard or even going to travel this weekend, to see if they're going to get some practice in before we break the purse record there once, not twice, but 3 times for the National Crate Championship at the end of the year.
Yeah, we're going to break it 3 times this year from our old record we set in 2021. But I think that it will, it's going to, there's a chance that when nobody else racing, that you'll see some out-of-towners there getting some racing in this weekend. I think the weather looks good. I haven't looked at it for a couple of days, but from what I've seen, it's less than a 50% chance of rain. So they should get to race, I would think, and they should have a great field of cars.
Mm-hmm. Robert said he wish he was ready for Willard. But Robert, you better get it ready for our series race there, so you can compete for that $15,000 at the end of the year.
Well, we know we're going to see Robert at I-75 too to kick the season off. I expect. So get her ready, Robert. I'll be looking for you in a couple weeks. You got 2 weeks left, buddy.
Yeah. But other than Willard having their open weekend actually a race, Natural Bridge Speedway is having their open practice this weekend. I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a lot of crate cars gonna be there, especially with the weekly car count they have every week.
Yeah, I was just talking to Joseph Glassford. He is ready to rock and roll. He told me they can officially open under their ownership, their reign, on Wednesday, and they'll be ready for practice on Saturday. And he told me he's ready to start getting some races under his belt. He got in the game very late last year, ran with the help of John Philpott, ran our race there in October, and then they ran one more race a couple weeks later. But he's ready. He's excited. I can tell he's pumped up, going to be doing big things there. So it's going to be a really good deal, I believe. So Robert says he'll be ready for I-75 in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. But Natural Bridge is an awesome, speedway. I love it. But it's going to be pretty cool to see. I'm wondering how many drivers will actually, their weekly drivers that come and practice, and that may give the East Tennessee guys a run for their money in the season.
Yeah, those guys there, I think there's a tough crowd. It's a tough crowd of cars. And, it's a very unique facility, very different. It's not like really any other places we go. Track's shaped a little different. The dirt's a little different. Everything's a little different there.
And my favorite part about it is you don't see many tracks anymore that have 30 to 35 crate cars weekly. That's their home track, and they come every week.
That's right. That's awesome. It's awesome to see. Joseph's here with us. Good to see you, buddy. Can't wait for you to kick your season off. I'll get those membership forms to you. Hopefully, I'd love to see all 30 of those guys join. I think we could probably add a few spots to our payout if we could get all 30 of them joined up over there. And, last year, kind of the drivers took it up on themselves. I'm excited for Joseph's new ownership there. I think he will do a great job in promoting the weekly series and getting members to join. He's going to let us know how many cars they get through tech and safety check. They're doing their safety check. That's cool to do their safety check there on the first night. And that gives guys a chance, if somebody's not up to par, to get their car ready for the first race.
That's really interesting. I've never really heard of tracks doing that, but that's awesome. So guys can get their stuff ready, and they don't come to any surprises on race night. That's
right. I've actually got a pretty good deal on fire suits if anybody needs one. K1 has offered us a pretty good deal. So if anybody needs a fire suit right now, let me know, and we can get you in on a group order that I'm about to place very soon. So let me know on that. I've also got Great Lakes Speed Shop's going to help us out. If anybody wants a head or neck restraint, I can send you to our buddy Bud Watson, our Heat 3 sponsor, on that as well, if anybody's in need of one of those right now. Travis Snyder says he is ready for the season to start, and let me tell you, buddy, I am too. It just
It's
seems
been the
like
longest off season ever.
it has been. We lost our race in November, Allie, and I think it just kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
We didn't have any closure.
right. Which I've already kicked my season off at Smoky, but and I love our weekly series, and I love going to Smoky, and it's a lot of fun. But I can't wait for our touring season to kick off.
Touring season starts in 18 days. But what's Ricky's number?
18.
That is such a coincidence.
We did not plan that, folks. So
I was thinking about that sitting here. I was like, isn't Ricky's number 18? And we're
It
18
is.
days away from opening weekend. But don't forget our opening weekend to our season is at I-75 on April 1st and 2nd. We're 18 days away.
that's right. Really excited about that. Excited to see what else going on. 18 days. Ricky Greene, maybe that's good luck for you. Maybe that maybe that'll bring good fortune your way, being on 18 days. Before he's already texted me and said he hoped he didn't make the blooper section. Well, I'm sorry, but you locked yourself in when your technology failed. So we'll be talking about you again a little bit, buddy. So just stay tuned in with us.
Yeah, but I didn't realize that until yesterday. I mean today when we were sitting here, when I was like, "Isn't Ricky's number 18 and we're 18 days away?" That's pretty cool.
That's right. So Ricky's giving us the horns up there, ready to rock and roll. He should have given us a GBO there next to it and put the orange on there. So your mom says the countdown is on, and it is
for
absolutely.
sure. But also, for our viewers, just a little heads up. Tomorrow night we are having a social media class, and we had to reschedule from last week. It is tomorrow night is it at 7?
7.
That's what I thought. At 7 p.m. It's on Skype. We have a lot of openings left for you guys to sign up. It's free for you guys. There's no cost to you. We're just going to let you in on how you can promote your racing team as well as you as a driver, as a business, on social media.
Yeah, I'm excited about this class. There may be a few paid for things that we offer, such as if you want to put together a sponsorship profile or a portfolio or package, whatever you want to call it, that we could go through and edit it for you, offer you some editing services to make sure your grammar's good and you're not using the southern language when you're trying to reach out to these sponsors and things. And don't worry, I'm guilty of it too, but thankfully I have a very good editor for my things that takes care of me there. And then we've got we can even write a whole proposal for us if you send us a resume. So
and then tomorrow night we'll be joined also with William Blankenship, one of our American All-Star Series competitors that uses social media to his good a lot and has done really well with it. So his tips and our tips on how you can promote your business, because yes, you're a race team and you as a driver is a business.
Yeah, Allie, you got everything locked down pretty good except Facebook, and I'll talk to people about Facebook. Twitter is another great avenue that it's kind of the app that came out between Allie and my own generation, and like kind of in the middle there that both of us are familiar with a little bit. So we'll talk about Twitter just a little bit tomorrow as well. But really excited about this class, and hopefully it's something we can build and do more of in the future.
For sure. But that's all we have for segment 2. So none of the American All-Star Series would be possible without our title sponsor, PPM Racing Products. So here's a quick word from them.
When you start with the strongest American steel, apply the smartest techniques. Let artesian quality craftsmen do the work. What you end up with is just better than anything else you can get.
Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Safety Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series. We are now into segment 3 of our show for tonight. We've met with Ricky Greene, one of our American All-Star competitors. We talked about the weekly season opening up at Willard Speedway, as well as a practice at Natural Bridge Speedway, and how we're only 18 days away from opening weekend with the American All-Star Series. But first, Segment 3 is dedicated to schedule talk, but let's talk about this new app that's out for drivers.
Yeah, Racetrack Connection is out now for drivers. It will be out for fans. It's coming soon. Don't worry. Hold tight because it will be here. Racetrack Connection is available for all forms of racing, from RC racing, slot car racing, big car racing, oval racing, doesn't matter what, road course racing. It's all going to be on there. Eventually, every track in the nation will be on there, so you can put your schedule on there. But it's going to be a great app. It is a great app. It's already out, but it'll be great once we get tire season and can start using it for drivers to be able to put their schedule in, put information about themselves in, reach out to sponsors, and work on things like that. Looks like we've got one of our competitors, Josh Thomas, weekly racer for the series, signed up and already got his stuff started and information into Racetrack Connection. So it's good to see some people using it. Appreciate you guys that support the show, also supporting those that support us.
Yeah, and it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, for you as a driver, if there's any drivers watching this, it's going to be awesome for you as a driver to put your information in, one, for sponsors, for sponsors to be that you want sponsors, that you need sponsors, and as well for fans to see when you're out of town and you're maybe traveling with the American All-Star Series and you're out of town. The fans that are in the stands can see who's on the track.
Yeah, and then you can get on there and chat about it and have a good time, and it all disappears. So speak your heart out because it's going away at the end of the night.
Yep. But like I said, we dedicate segment 3 of our show to talking about the next few races in our schedule we're going in consecutive order. So we're now into September. First, we're at September 16th for the Fall Frenzy at Mountain Motorsports Park for 3,000 to win.
Yeah, I'm going to call this the Battle in the Bluegrass State weekend because we're going to spend it in Kentucky. In the fall, going to have some of them cool, crisp temperatures, I'm sure. But cool, crisp temperatures lead to hot racing on the track. And we started out there with the Fall Frenzy. 3,000 to win at Mountain Motorsports Park. Our last fall winner at Mountain Motorsports Park was Zach Seiss.
Mm-hmm. And, his team loves that track, but there's a lot of our drivers that like that track because of how good the racing is at Mountain Motorsports Park.
Yeah, Mount MMP is one of those tracks that the East Tennessee boys, they love it. It's not the closest track to them we go to, but they like going there because it's competitive. The track has character. And you know what else the track's going to have this year, Allie?
Pizza.
Brand new pizza. So last year's pizza was good. The first year's pizza was amazing. And from what I hear, the pizza that's going to be served this year is going to be amazing. And I've got a large waiting on me when I get there.
You think they heard our podcast that night we were giving out superlatives?
I talked to Josh about us giving them out and that I picked him for best pizza, best food.
Well, we also picked Mountain Motorsports Park I did, best fan base because they have a lot of loyal fans down there and they treat us like we're gold when we come in there.
That's right. They really do. It's a great fan base. They definitely seem, I know MMP went many years before the Profits took it over without having many big events. So the fans there definitely seem very appreciative of the fact that there's touring series coming in, bringing in drivers from out of town. They love their local drivers though too. I mean, you see them get up and you see passion over the local classes when we're there at ISOM. But a really great fan base that definitely loves their racing.
Mm-hmm, for sure. And then, talking about another great track, we're going from ISOM to Willard on September 17th for 5,000 to win. I think we're going to have a pretty good touring weekend that weekend, especially with them being both in Kentucky.
Yeah, biggest show in track history. So as we make our way north from ISOM, we'll stop and probably have Fazoli's on Saturday because that's what I eat on the road because we don't have it local. And in the nice little town, and I know I have a place to park because part of my traveling makes sure I have to have somewhere to park. But that's a great weekend for racing. There's not usually many big shows for whatever reason going on September 17th and 18th or 16th and 17th. That third weekend in September. The first 2 weekends in September are so busy. I think a lot of people just take it off, especially super-wise, because there's some huge super races to start September. And this is a great weekend for some people to come out. I think we'll get some cars from the north that come down to compete, try out Willard in the biggest show in the track's history. They'll probably come on down to ice them on Friday. Might as well make it a 2 for weekend. And but guys will be there at Willard getting ready for the 15K just 2 months later.
That's exactly what I was about to say. This is going to be the last time we go there before the National Crate Championship for 15,000. And so I think a lot of guys are going to come down to Kentucky to see what Willard's about and see if they can win that 15,000 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a huge field. I think it's going to be a lot of great cars, and I'm sure AJ Hicks will be looking to defend his fall touring win there from 2021.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly going to be a fun 2022 season, and I'm so excited. I cannot wait.
Right there.
Literally, it's right there. We can taste it.
That's right.
Well, you can taste it. I still got a couple more weeks than you do.
But really, this time next month, I'll have 3 races in, and you'll already have your first one in. So
yeah,
we're right there at it.
That's true. But none of our schedule nor the American All-Star Series. Rocky Moore commented.
Oh, that's our title sponsor of the
Hey,
the Dirt show, Rocky Moore. He says AJ's going to be tough to beat at Willard. Are you going to go get some laps this weekend, Rocky? We're going to take a break, but comment, let us know. Are you going to get some laps this weekend? Get your first weekly show of the season in this weekend at Willard. Let us know.
Yeah. But none of this would be possible without our sponsors of the American All-Star Series, so here's a quick list of those. Welcome back to Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. This is a production of the American All-Star Series. We're back for segment 4 of our show called the Blooper segment. This is one of our favorite segments, so keep the comments coming. Let's have some fun with this.
Allie,
Rocky Moore just answered our question.
You just had a blooper of your own.
I said segment 3. I'm sorry. I had a perfect show up until that one moment.
It's been, no mistakes all night. Then you do it. Right there at the end, you find your first blooper. So Rocky says he'll be ready next weekend. That I expect Rocky to be at I-75 the following weekend. I know that was his plan originally. So he's one we expect to see competing in that opening weekend, that mini points fund, the series points fund. So Rockies should be getting those tires ready to hit the track, it sounds like. So that's good to see. Only major blooper tonight came from our guest, Ricky Greene. And his technology failed him.
Which mine fails me every week.
Oh, so he was so popular, phone call got him. That means he got 3 phone calls in the time that he was on there with us. So Ricky says that he got a phone call. And if that was the problem every time, we lost him, I think, 3 times. So he's a popular fella.
Yeah. I don't ever get a phone call because I'm pretty sure everybody knows that I'm on the podcast at 7:30 on Mondays. So
Yeah, and I use a computer, so I should be safe from that. If I start getting a call on my
I
computer, I
don't
might
get
have an
any like
issue.
phone calls from my iPad.
Oh,
I
only
just get
twice, he
FaceTime.
says.
Oh,
Only
okay.
twice. So he's
Well, twice
he's
is too
only.
many, Ricky.
That's right. 2 times too many.
I didn't bring out the mini mic, but I should have showed him. I still have it.
That's right. I'm sure you'll visit him with him at Lake Cumberland with your mini mic.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be fun. I seriously think this is gonna be one of the most fun seasons.
I think it's going to be a good season. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic over fuel prices. My hope is that by some point, fuel starts going down a little bit, and we can really get to enjoying racing season.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. We have a lot of good races planned
Yeah,
and scheduled.
I'm looking forward to our season. Some races that are still TBA on there, but every race, even the TBAs, I know are going to be great shows.
Mm-hmm. Do you have an idea of when those TBAs will be announced?
I don't. Sooner than later, because one of them's on April 30th for 10,000 wins, so sooner than later, I hope.
Yep. You did bring some life to the show. Are you saying me and Joe are boring?
That's not good. That's not very nice,
What?
Ricky. I'm going to penalize you a lap of qualifying right off the bat.
Ricky, we almost titled this episode The Goober.
Yeah, I really wanted to title it The Goober because you say Goober way too much.
We should have named it Bob.
Or Bob. Yeah, we should have just put Bob. Episode 10, Bob. That's what we should have went with. That would have been an interesting
Ricky,
name.
Every time he asks, like somebody at a restaurant or something, asks for a name, he says Bob because apparently they never misspell that.
Right. So next year, or next time we have him on, if he wins a race, we'll just title it Bob. If he wins during the season. So, yeah, we didn't have enough bloopers tonight. We're getting too good.
We're getting too good. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're getting too good.
We might make a lot of mistakes tomorrow night on the social media class that we have to save up for next week's show.
Yeah.
Next week we got a good guest coming on. I'm excited about next week's guest.
Shannon Littleton, I-75.
I-75 Raceway.
Yeah.
I don't know if Shannon has his own Facebook page. We're going to have to figure out how to get him a link. How we're going to get him on here with us.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I just thought about that. Maybe he does. No, I don't think he does. He might. I don't think so, though. We might have to send it through.
Brody, his little son.
Brody,
the little one. He follows me on TikTok, so if that all else fails. But,
he told me that he hoped to. What did Shannon say? Shannon said something funny about our show when I was talking to him about it today. He said that he hopes he doesn't wreck it for us next week. So I told him, I said, you'll do fine. I said, we wreck it ourselves every week. And we have a good time. So, we have a lot of fun on our show. But tonight, I'll tell you, it doesn't look like we got many comments. Doesn't have much coming in. We might have to wrap it.
Yeah. Well, next week, first, tomorrow, join us for our social media class to learn how you can promote your business, your race team, you as a driver with social media. And we are offering proposals for sponsorships with a little bit of a fee, but the class is free to you. We're going to be doing it on Skype, and we're going to join with William Blankenship, which is one of our American All-Star Series competitors. And he's going to be telling us how he uses social media to promote his business, aka his race team.
Yeah, I talked to some drivers this weekend, and was talking to them about just that fact, that their race team is a business. So I hope we can get a lot of people on, a lot of people joining us, and it's something we can build into the future.
Yep. But tomorrow night is going to be at 7 o'clock. We're going to send the link out to those people, right? Yeah,
that's the plan. Be watching your inboxes for links. It might come from my personal page, might come from Allie's personal page. We'll probably split you up and send them out between the two of us to those people that need the invites. If we see something's not going to work on Skype, we've tested it, but things can always fail with using a new app. So if we see something's not going to work on Skype, we'll go to a backup plan and make sure that everybody knows the change and where to find us at.
Mm-hmm. But then after tomorrow, our next show is on Monday next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be joined with Shannon Littleton to talk about I-75 Raceway, and I'm sure we're going to talk about our opening weekend on April 1st and 2nd. 2 days of racing. 2-day
Yeah.
race, but 2 days of racing.
And
at
Shannon
the
just
same
bought
time.
I-75 last season, so I want to see what possessed him to get into track ownership, because it takes a special person to own a racetrack for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he'll be talking about the Eagle engines, Eagle Racing engines, the mini points fund they got going on for our opening weekend.
No doubt that'll be a topic of conversation.
Mm-hmm. Well, Joe, we've kind of hit a stall here, so you got anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, that's the dirt for Off the Dirt with Allie and Joe, presented by M&M Septic Services. That's all we have for you all tonight. So good night, everyone.
Good night.